What is up, everybody? It's Tuesday, it's draft season, so that means that we're going into another Dynasty rookie mock draft. This time we're going to be drafting on the Sleeper platform and running through a 12-team SUPERFLEX mock draft. And this time it's going to be from a little bit later in the draft, actually from the 110, just to try to get a little bit more conversation about what to do if you do have a later first in SUPERFLEX leagues. Let's go right into the draft. Let's see what's going on here. This is just a regular 4-round rookie mock draft, and I'm just going to hit start, and we're just going to get things going here and see kind of how the board looks at the 110. Because as of right now, like I said, it's pretty much kind of consensus on terms of who the players are at the top of the draft. It's Breece Hall, it's Malik Willis as the 101, 102. You got your top 3 wide receivers in Burks, Wilson, London, in whatever order that is. You got Kenneth Walker thrown in there as well. Isaiah Spiller, at least for right now, is still up there, but that remains to be seen how it goes after the NFL draft in terms of landing spot. And then you kind of have, like I said, this free-for-all of all these wide receivers. Maybe if any of the running backs kind of fall down from the top end, or where do the quarterbacks start sliding in here? So this is a really big decision if you're here at the 110, at the 111, 112, any of these kind of positions, figuring out what to do. And to me, I would still be drafting quarterbacks here. I know that might sound a little bit crazy just considering how quote unquote bad this quarterback class actually looks. But in the end, this is still super flex, and you still need quarterbacks and you still need to start actual players. And when you look at Superflex ADP, you'll actually start to realize just how valuable quarterbacks are compared to the rest of the players. Like you might notice in April Superflex ADP that Mac Jones, the quarterback 18 in ADP, Mac Jones, is still being valued as basically a wide receiver 1 or an RB1 in the top 12 of those two positions. You can move down a little bit further, and the QB 24, this is where you start getting into like Matt Corral and other rookie type ranges, as the end of the quarterback 2 range is still a mid wide receiver 2 or mid RB2. So that's just how valuable these type of players are and the quarterback are in Superflex. And unless if you're getting a wide receiver or a running back who can ascend to that type of range, which you might believe that you actually can, you might actually just be safer drafting one of these quarterbacks and just hoping that they actually hit in year 1 or in year 2, and we get a little bit more of a comfortability with these type of guys. Maybe even one of them actually breaks out, and not to the Justin Herbert extent, but pulls a kind of Justin Herbert to where, hey, now we have a lot better outlook on this type of quarterback who's now more of a QB1 in Dynasty than what we previously thought he was when he was coming into the draft. So I'm still taking quarterbacks here at the back end of the first. I really think that this quarterback class is undervalued with how they're being drafted in rookie mocks. So with the 110 right here, it's a debate for me between Matt Corral and Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder. To me, my quarterback 1 is Sam Howell in this class. I do believe that he gets first round draft capital, or at least I really hope that he gets first round draft capital. I hope that my Steelers, because I'm a Steelers fan, drafts him at 20 overall, because I would absolutely love that landing spot from both a Steelers and a Sam Howell perspective. So I'm taking Sam Howell here before the NFL draft at the 110, and I'm totally happy with it because, like I said, at the end of the day, this is Superflex. This is a quarterback run league, and we need quarterbacks. You need to be able to start these guys every single week, and you need to be able to grab these quarterbacks in the back end of the first. And I think that that's going to be a really big advantage to a lot of the teams after the NFL draft that are able to pull this type of quarterback move and grab one of these guys super late in first round drafts. So we're up again here at the 210. This is, man, it's just so hard because at the Superflex level, you know, all these players, they do get bumped back because you can include those top 5 quarterbacks in the first or early second kind of range. But still, this is very similar to last year where there is a clear drop off in Superflex leagues around the mid second round here. It's right around the 2.08 with Sky Moore. Last year was pretty similar. In one quarterback leagues, it's a little bit earlier than that just because you don't have the quarterback. So 2.03, 2.04 was kind of the cutoff last year. And if you don't have another pick right in that range, you are severely hurting because you are missing on a lot of talent. Just the talent drop from Sky Moore as this wide receiver here, right here at the 2.08 to what I'm potentially picking now at the 210 between Justin Ross, you know, John Mechie, Wan'Dale Robinson, like a lot of these guys that I just don't really like. And I would much rather be trading up into that tier again in the middle second and trying to get one of those guys than just taking shots on any of these people. So that would be my ultimate advice, is try to trade up into that kind of tier. rather than just sitting here and hoping that somebody falls, because more than likely somebody's not going to fall. If you do have to make this pick, this is really tough just because I don't really like a whole lot of these players. I would rather take a lot of these guys in the third round. I don't want to take them here at the 210 just because they all seem very similar to me. You know, John Mechie's kind of interesting. Justin Ross is kind of interesting. Dameon Pierce is kind of interesting. I'm not in on Carson Strong just because I don't think he gets draft capital. I actually don't even think he's really that good. So I know that I said that this quarterback class is underrated a little bit just in terms of their pricing, but I already have Sam Howell. I don't really want to take the shot on Carson Strong. I don't really like Kyron Williams either. Don't really like Zamir White. Like, this is just whole entire tier is not good for me personally. But what I think I am going to do is I'm just going to take a running back, Zamir White, a guy who a lot of people believe is going to get day 2 draft capital, if not round 2 draft capital. And the upside that he does present is a lot better than a lot of the other options that were there on the board for me. But like I said, I would be trying to trade back into the top half of the second round to get back into this kind of range of drafting a David Bell, Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, even a Rashad White, or taking another shot on a quarterback like Desmond Ridder, just to be able to have 2 shots on quarterbacks in this class, I think is a lot better than just sitting at that pick and hoping somebody falls. Because like I said, I don't think somebody actually does. So here at the 310, this is where ADP just kind of gets thrown out of the window, and you just kind of take your best player and whoever you really want at this point. You know, like I said, I am interested in guys like Justin Ross and John Mechie. It's crazy that I said that I was actually considering these guys at the 210, and they're still here at the 310. So just kind of goes to show you how not valuable the 210 is, because this tier of players is so big that you can, you know, trade back and be able to grab multiple guys rather than just taking one, or like I said, trade up to be able to get a better quality type of player. But you already know here at the 310 who I'm drafting, because he's right down here. It's Khalil Shakir, wide receiver out of Boise State. The man's going to get day 2 draft capital. He's absolutely fantastic. He hits on a lot of the markers that I'm looking for. He is like my auto 4th round pick, and I'm definitely willing to pull that trigger on the 3rd round as well, like I did here at the 310. I absolutely love Khalil Shakir, and I'm going to be grabbing him in as many rookie drafts as I possibly can. So that's just an auto easy pick for me right there at 310, to the point where now we're at the 410. And again, John Mechie's still there. Wan'Dale Robinson still there as well too. Alec Pierce is really interesting. Jalen Tolbert has been hyped to get day 2 draft capital. We'll see how that goes. Zonovan Knight, Keontae Ingram, one of my favorite guys as well. There's a lot of people down in here that I'm just super interested in. And it's really just going to depend on what team they land on and when in actual draft capital. Like, I really love Keontae Ingram. He was my 4th round guy in my mock draft last week, but does he actually get drafted? Like, I don't know. Like, I can sit here and say all day that I love Keontae Ingram, but if he doesn't get drafted, that's not going to matter. So it is really going to be dependent at this range after the NFL draft on when and where these players actually go. I feel like in normal drafts, I would probably just go with John Mechie here, just because I feel like he's the safest option right now, and just a player that has fallen a little bit too far, because I was considering him kind of at the 210. So in most cases, I probably would take John Mechie. I'd probably also take Wan'Dale Robinson, just because those are 2 players that I feel like that has gone a little bit undervalued in this particular draft and situation. I would also probably just take Keontae Ingram. But one other player that I'm going to throw out here and actually draft right now is Kevin Harris, running back out of South Carolina. I've recently come onto his profile. I mean, he was just kind of in my marker system, just kind of thrown in here with a bunch of other guys. But he's right around there right now with guys like Dameon Pierce. He's ahead of Zamir White. He's actually right next to Isaiah Spiller as well, just on paper with the marker system. But Kevin Harris actually didn't run a 40-yard dash at the combine. So I'm missing 40-yard dash speed and speed score, which at his size of 5'10", 220 pounds as a monster, I would imagine that if he ran a sub 4.6 to meet that marker, he would also then meet my speed score marker of 100 plus, bringing him back up to 5 out of 8 markers, which would put him in the range of some of my other favorite guys in this class, like Jerome Ford, Rashad White, one behind Keontae Ingram, Tyler Algier. He's now up in that category. And Kevin Harris has shown the ability to have some elite production. He showed that in 2020, then kind of had a little bit of an injury-riddled 2021. So there is a little bit of risk there with the injuries and whatnot. But I mean, at the 410, what do you have to lose? And so Kevin Harris is now coming on to be another one of these guys that I'm throwing onto my list of guys that I want to see where they go and when, because they could end up being, I don't want to say my 2022 Elijah Mitchell, but you know, there's a bunch of guys in that type of range that I'm really going to be looking to be targeting in this 3rd and 4th round range. And Kevin Harris might be at the top, or is very much near the top of that list as of right now before the NFL draft. So that concludes my 4-round, 12-team Superflex mock draft from the 110 spot. Leave a comment down below if you agreed or disagreed with any of the draft picks that I make, or let me know how you guys feel about the quarterbacks in this class. If you do think that they are undervalued like I do, to where you do want to stack a couple of these guys in the back end of your 1st, or maybe even the early part of your 2nd rounds in your Superflex rookie drafts, make sure to drop a like on this video and hit that subscribe button to this channel if you are not yet subscribed, because the NFL draft is super close. And after the NFL draft, we're going to have so much rookie content and rookie stuff to talk about with actual landing spots, and to actually help you guys with your specific rookie drafts and the picks that you guys have with your roster. So hit that subscribe button. And with that all being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch y'all later.